Good morning, students. Today we have a discussion about the regulation for herbal medicines. And I'm not going for all the regulations we have already seen in herbal drug technology, like schedules and patent, all these things we have seen. But it was just to give you a short discussion about the regulation. Means we mean that how to regulate the safety and efficacy of herbal formulations and other traditional systems which we have in India and also throughout the world. We have to concentrate in that, and we are just talking about the pharmacovigilance also, some 2-3 slides, and also we are just having a discussion about what we have discussed before, and there is a separate lecture for pharmacovigilance. That's also very important for the students to just to go through it. Here we are talking, we know that Ministry of Oil in India, they are having the complete control over the Ayurveda, Yoga, Unani, Siddha and the herbal drug formulations or herbal medicine or naturopathy. This all comes under in this Ayush ministry in India. In India, the Department of Ayurveda, Yoga and Naturopathy, Unani, Siddha and Homeopathy is a regulatory authority. The H stands for homeopathy. And they are regulatory authority, and we have the full power for them to govern the various regulations and rules, which controls the product licensing, composition and formulation, ensures a manufacturing of the product. They have to apply for the license, and as well as the formulation should be approved by Ayush, and labeling, even they have to get the labeling, packing, quality, and the quality should be specified properly. And as per Schedule T for good manufacturing practice, and monitors export of Ayurveda, Siddha and Unani products. And herbal products are licensed under Ayurveda, Siddha and Unani drugs as patent or proprietary medicines. So we see just a chart I have taken from there just to revise what is your previous knowledge about the herbal drug technology, and as well as herbal drug various products, medicinal product topics which comes under for their safety and efficacy, which we have discussed how the development of the flow chart, and just we can revise that. That is what this is, a hints to make the students to remember what all they have gone through before. So you can see here the herbal product development flow. First one is selection criteria. GACP means good agriculture collection process and compliance, which we have studied in detail. And active herbs, active components, you know that there is multi-components, multi-herbs will be there in the formulation. So active components, and which you should know about the nomenclature of the chemical structure of the compound, isolated compound from the herb, and the characterization, that is characterization, isolation, identification, instrumental analysis of finding out the structural elucidation, characterization of the active component, literature reference, and impurity profiles, limits and everything should be comes under in this profile. And specification and justification of the specification, actually justification of the specification is needed and it can be done by TLC, HPTLC, thin layer chromatography, and high performance thin layer chromatography can be performed for the active components or active herbs. And also you have to perform the impurities which may be performed, which may be present, like radioactive impurities, substances which may be present, and pesticide residues which may be present from the cultivation and collection. So these all are the active herbs. These all are topics which we might have discussed in detail, and it is needed for the product development flow. When you want to apply for a product, when you want to apply for a product for to come to a market or to manufacture, it's needed to give these details for Aish. And you can see this, you can see all these four, as I told, nomenclature, characteristic of the herbal active principle, and justification of the specification which you given, and TLC, HPTLC study, and radioactive substances and pesticides which may be present as an impurities have to be cleared, and you should go with the standardization. And when you see there is stability of the storage is also a topic which we have studied. And when you come to manufacturing process development, good manufacturing, GMP, of compliance, process flow, process control, and process validation. So you see process flow, process control, process validation in a manufacturing process development of good manufacturing process compliances. You should know these points, and you can explain it very detailedly if you read the good manufacturing process which I already explained. And when you come to here, herbal preparation, final product, specification, good laboratory practice, compliance, like quality control and quality assurance. And if you see that quantitative and the qualitative estimations have to be done by the quality control and quality assurance department of the pharmaceutical industry, and residue, solvent, impurity profile. Here also we have to perform with TLC and HPTLC, and excipients studies all comes in the final product is also needed for any type of reports have to be recorded. And if you see that the containers and closures system also very important. Containers and closures, whatever which you are using, it has many parameters have to be governed and to be inspected and to be tested and to be recorded for the manufacturing unit. Storage and shelf life, how you will give the expiry date, what is storage conditions, and what are the self stability studies which you have taken carried out. This also we have a topic which we have discussed in this product development flow of herbal medicine. And safety and efficacy of good clinical practice. So good clinical practice compliance, which we have not discussed, just I have given one slide to talk about this good clinical practice. So this good clinical practice comes, there is how the clinical practice, how you have prescribed, how you are, the treatment is given by means of the drug which is available in the market. These all things comes in the clinical study, and that can be governed by the pharmacovigilance. Understand? There we stand with the pharmacovigilance. Clinical, preclinical studies and reports, clinical studies and report, non-clinical overview summary, and a clinical overview summary, non-clinical overview summary, and a clinical overview summary, and a bibliographical information, that is information, safety and efficacy of herbal drugs. So these are some of the points which you have to remember for herbal medicine product development flow. So when I saw this flow, I thought, let me give some points which can remember some of the things, the words and the titles which will be helpful for them to remember and to write something in the examination point of view. Suppose if they are asked some titles in a short notes. So herbal medicine product, you should see this. Now we can see there is good agriculture and collection practice, which we have seen the main GACP already we have discussed. Please go through it. And good manufacturing process, GMP, is also we have gone through. And good laboratory practice also, GLP is also, we have gone through how it is have to be important for the herbal drug manufacturing and the product to be to the consumer, to reach to the consumer for the use of the herbal drugs and herbal formulations. And good clinical practice, which we did not discuss about that, just now I told that it's a good clinical practice is also very important, how it is practiced, how it is used by the patient, how treatment is utilized, and also what is its adverse actions have to be, suppose if it is any, and also clinical practice and the clinical trials, all this have to be done by means of good clinical practice. So this also you can done by the pharmacovigilance. We have discussed in the previous topic. So that also you have to listen. At the same time, here also I have given some 2-3 slides to give some details about pharmacovigilance. This is about the old slides, old topics which we have discussed about good agriculture practice, in which it has been, you can take it from an Pakistan newspaper, which they have given something, this is a picture. You can see that is crop rotation, and you might have seen that choose certified seeds before cultivation, use a laser land technology, and a leveler for any type of using the ground for plowing, and use less herbicides. You can use the bio pesticides and also herbicides, and also prefer organic fertilizers, water project crops, and store crops properly, and use technologies and new technologies which is available without harming the nearby animal husbandry or by the human being living nearby area. And the crops rotation also very much interesting to do this good agriculture practice. And we have discussed about even what is good manufacturing practice in detail before. This is just to give you a slide to remember how your materials, holding and distribution, that is storing and distribution of drugs, quality control, qualification and validation of the person who is working in the institution, and contact production analysis, personal training and personal hygiene, equipments cleaning, these all are important for the good manufacturing process. And documentation plays a major role. So you can see the components, whichever you have studied, just go to this premises also plays a major role. And also self-inspection, quality, adults and suppliers, that is for example adulteration and approval, you are auditing, not adults, auditing, you have to see the document auditing, and also approval, self-inspection is needed. And also you can see compliances, product is recalled means it is necessary for you to, why it is recalled, how it came from, what is the reason it has been recalled for the product. This all comes in a good manufacturing process. And a good manufacturing process of medicinal products, sanitation and hygiene, quality management, quality assurance, these all are plays a major role. The guidance recommended by the agency that control the authorization and license for manufacture and sale of food or drug products and active pharmaceutical products. These are the points which you have to remember. We have discussed before, and you have to go through by the GMP, what is good, and GLP also. Good laboratory practice. These all are the regulatory factors which comes under in the AYUSH, and as well as in governmental authority. They used to need to have good laboratory practice, good manufacturing practice, good clinical practice, good agriculture collection practice. This all gives the parameter to have a safety and efficacy of a manufacturing of herbal formulations. And you can see that the good laboratory practice like reagent and material certification, accountability, statistical procedures, instrumental validation which are used in the QC and the quality assurance and quality control, and documentation records and quality assurance, and specimen sample tracking and certificate analysis and certificating of the lab facilities, reagent and material certification is very, very important for elements of good manufacturing practice. A quality system of management control for research, lab and organization. These all points are very much important. So next we coming to the things which I have told you, like good clinical practice. So in good clinical practice training, certification programs should be conducted like pharmacovigilance programs, and there should be some system should be there to govern the adverse reactions which is happening in the market, and also the distributions and the storage, everything should be governed by the authorities. So the stakeholders who are present, they have to, this we have discussed very in detail in pharmacovigilance separately. So you have to go through pharmacovigilance also. Here a good clinical practice, you can see designing of the practice, conducting the practice, monitoring the practice, recording the practice, clinical trials, taking out, analysis of the practice and reporting the practice. These are all the parts of the good clinical practice for governing them and to be going streamlined to protect the use of safety and efficacy of herbal formulations. And you see here good clinical practice, again I am explaining about in detail about for only one slide. The herbal medicine under the herbal, analytical, therapeutic, chemical and classified based on nomenclature and therapeutic activity to aid the study of safety of clinical data. The Department of Ayush implemented pharmacovigilance program. The Department of Ayush implemented the pharmacovigilance program in India, keeping in mind the growing demand of acceptance of Ayurveda and thus to ensure its safety and efficacy and reporting of adverse reaction and to investigate the same. The health authority and ethical committee give clearance for conducting a clinical trial for health condition well established usage in country for origin would serve the requirements with the supporting ancient text pharmacopoeia and monograph starting the same. So whereas in case of acute chronic disease conditions, a clinical trial is to be carried out. Remember, whereas in case of acute chronic disease conditions, we know that differentiating of acute and chronic diseases, a clinical trial is to be carried out. The trial, when conducted, requires a detailed protocol, a planning of your work, detailed protocol. According to Ayush, a principal investigator and evidence of safety and efficacy of the herbal medicine which you are taking for the clinical trial. Now, we have discussed about pharmacovigilance in detail and definitions by WHO and also what is happening in India and how they are implemented. All these things have been discussed in the previous lecture. This was a long lecture. I think this is just I have given a short detail about the pharmacovigilance specifically some points for herbal drugs. And WHO on safety monitoring of herbal medicine in pharmacovigilance system, that is WHO, that is World Health Organization guidelines, provide practical technical guidance for monitoring the safety of herbal medicine with pharmacovigilance systems. The global consumption of herbal medicine is enormous, so that in terms of population exposure alone, it's essential to identify the risk associated with their use. The safety of herbal medicine is an important public health issue. Herbal medicines are frequently used in conjugation with other medicines. Again I am repeating, herbal medicines are frequently used in conjugation with other medicines, which is improper to do that. And it is essential to understand the consequence of such combined use of two systems or combined use of herbal drugs and a synthetic drug. and monitored whether an adverse effect is arising. It's very complicated issue actually. This can be achieved most readily within existent pharmacovigilance system which we have. So problems among consumers. There is a widespread misconception. What is that? Nature always means safe. It's true, but nature is also having some, how you use it, how you utilize it, how you use it with respect, very important. And a common belief that remedies from the nature origin are harmless and carry no risk. This is the common understanding for anyone, but it is not true always. But it is not true always. Safe, they used to think that is safe of common belief. Everybody, it is safe for a natural origin, harmless to carry out. No, if you are using according to the nature's wish individually, and if you know that usage, how to use, by the prime advisors, prime practitioners, prime Ayurveda, Siddha, Irani, Naturopathy, Homeopathy, their instructions, if you use any type of natural compounds with there according to the rules, according to the procedures, the risks can be reduced, but otherwise it's risky. However, some medicinal plants are inherently toxic. You know about, there are different types of toxic plants, poisonous plants. Even you can see, you might have used mushrooms. There are poisonous mushrooms are there, which you are edible mushrooms are there, medicinal mushrooms are there. So we should know that which one is what for and which can be used. Like Paracelsus says, even food can become poison if it is above the dosage is encouraged. So these are all things which you have to think about. What is toxicity and what is nature and how to be utilized, and we should not interpret what is the simply according to the common belief we want to avoid. So pharmacovigilance plays a major role to identify what type of mistakes have been done by the consumer innocently or not knowingly. It has to be educated. You have to educate, you have to inform. This is the responsibility of all the pharmacists and the health workers, and including all the health providers. So adverse effect may arise from them is taken use of wrong species of medicinal plants. Incorrect dosing, as I told, incorrect dosing and error in the use of herbal medicine, both by healthcare providers and the consumers. We mean that healthcare providers and even the patients, even the consumers. And you can see interactions with other medicines and use of products contaminated with hazardous substances such as toxic metals, pathogenic microorganisms and agar residues can also cause adverse effects. So the objective of herbal guidelines is of monitoring the safety and efficacy medicines within pharmacovigilance systems are to support member state, that means not only for United States, it's even for India, all the states and Kabale and districts, and in contact with WHO international drug monitoring programs to provide practical training guidance to monitor the safety of the herbal medicine with pharmacovigilance systems, to include herbal medicine in national drug safety monitoring system, to provide a standard definition. Always we are doubting with the definition. What should be done? What do you mean by pharmacovigilance? What is the procedure? Who should be reported? What should be reported? When should be reported? These all questions I have answered in my previous lecture. So that is one definitions which are given by the authorities and also even WHO and European Union agency. They have given very good a very good definitions to be controlled for the pharmacovigilance, how to govern the adverse drug reactions which has been happened by intentionally, non-intentionally in the market when it is supplied, the drugs are come to after clinical trials. To provide a standard definition in terms of related pharmacovigilance and safety monitoring of herbal medicine. To promote the safe and proper use of herbal medicine. So you should know that these all things, and I made it as a next topic to have a discussion about comparison of herbal pharmacopoeia. Just we'll have a break and we'll just continue. Thank you.